All Out recap, and Brad was there to tell us all about it, and Marcus was watching as well too. We got some news and notes for you, some pretty good stories, and in the spirit of football season, we'll talk about football players that were once wrestlers. All this and more on another action-packed edition of your favorite wrestling podcast, the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and also follow us on our Facebook Lite page. If you notice anything different, we got a nice little logo. I said, you know what, I'm just going to wake up and just kind of put this together. You know, you got the, you're looking at it now. You see, we got the luchadors here. You got them hooked in that perfect plex, and then we got the Connoisseurs of Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling Podcast. It's like shaped like in a round circle, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like the old territory wrestling days, but nevertheless, we are here. Check us out. Follow us on social media. Every time I tell people I'm doing a wrestling podcast, their eyes get big and they want parts. If you want parts, let us know. Pretty soon we're going to give you guys the email address so you can email your questions, comments, and concerns. Also on the Facebook like page, which I will put in the description box of this episode. Holla at your boys. With that being said, Eddie, Marcus,
yo,
Brad,
what it is.
We are the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling, and this is our podcast where we talk about pro wrestling just the way we like it. Breaking out of the box and jumping off the top rope. Like we Shannon Sharp.
Come on now, Unc.
Yeah, come on now, Unc. Come on now, Unc. Do something. Hey, man, hey, you know what, man, before we go any further, man, Shannon Sharp ain't gonna see this, but if he see this, somebody please send it to him. You're good with us, man. Things happen. You had an afternoon delight. Your thumb probably rubbed up against the phone by accident. You went on live. Hey, man, it is what it is. I know you're ashamed, but
it was a moment of passion. We've all been there.
Yeah, man, you got a little jammed up.
Personally, I love how he owned it, and you know, just like, okay, yeah, I did it. And you know, he said he was ashamed or whatever, but at the same time, he also let everybody know, hey, I did my thing though. Well, yeah, Brad and I were joking a few minutes ago before you came on. and Ocho was like, yeah, I heard you went short though. They're like, oh, don't do that to me, Ocho. Don't do that to me, Ocho. This ain't no YouTube short. This is a full film right here.
I said that.
I was doing his thing.
Yeah, Unc was not playing around, man. Unc wasn't playing no games, man. It was just, I love the banter that those two have. And Nightcap is a great podcast. I think they'll be approaching their 1-year anniversary pretty soon. And I probably missed a few episodes, but the episodes that I have watched, I'm a loyal subscriber. I ain't gonna lie to you. And it's just refreshing to see, you know, a country dude like Shannon Sharp and a dude from Miami as an Ocho Cinco, just get on there and just do their thing and just do it the way they want to do it. It's like, hey, this is our podcast, our format. This is how we gonna do it. And guess what? We gonna do the same thing right here at the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling Podcast. With that being said, fellas, how y'all doing, man? How was your weekend, man? How's everybody feeling?
Oh man, I'll be honest. I've been kind of stressed out the last few days. Work's just been a little hectic. Crazy project going on. The people in charge just keep on adding stuff and changing their mind and then dropping the ball with communication. Trying to get some stuff together for my daughter to get in school. Life has just been life. But hey, you know what? I'm maintaining. I'm still here, still standing, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man, at this point, like, man, that's all you can do. Just go from one day to the next and whatever.
And them Panthers, man, our Panthers. Good grief. What was that? What was that this past Sunday? That was, hey, y'all, I know this is a wrestling podcast, but hold on.
Oh, Uncle Marcus.
Ladies and gentlemen, making an early appearance on the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling Podcast with a lot on his mind. Marcus.
I wasn't even planning on this, y'all. I promise. I wasn't planning on this, but
we here now. Hell, go ahead and do it.
Panthers, y'all. Yes, just allow me to just get this off my chest about football real quick. I don't know if y'all saw out there, if y'all even watch football out there in podcast land, but as you know, this past weekend was the first weekend of the 2024 NFL football season. I stated repeatedly that I am a huge diehard Carolina Panthers fan. Nothing's gonna change about that. However, the game that I watched this past Sunday, where they took on the New Orleans Saints, that was arguably probably the worst Carolina Panthers football game I've ever seen. I've seen a couple of that are really bad. Now that I think about it, it's definitely top three. I don't know if it was the worst of the worst, because there was the game when Cam got his shoulder hurt. They played against the Steelers, and the Steelers dropped a 50-piece on them. They only
On my
scored.
birthday, that was on my birthday.
That was
'Cause you know
your
what?
birthday?
Oh,
Yes.
damn.
You know what? I had people over here at the house. I'll never forgive TJ Watt for that. Never.
Yeah, and it's just been downhill ever since that night. So, and somebody brought that up, and then like I think in one of my fantasy football chats or whatever, somebody brought that up. It's like, you know what, you make a good point. This one here was pretty bad. And I've lived through the Jimmy Clausen era, and if any of y'all know anything about Jimmy Clausen, that boy was horrible. We used to call him Pickles.
Terrible.
Pickles sucked. Pickles was one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen. I don't know how that boy ever made the NFL. But anyway, this Carolina Panthers football game, man. I had my little sister over. She brought my niece over. My mama came over later on. My wife was there. My daughter was there. We were all excited. My wife and my daughter wearing Bryce Young jerseys. This dude, even earlier this evening, my wife was laughing because I sent her a meme. And she's like, you know what was funny? When Bryce kind of kissed his finger and pointed up to the sky, what'd he do? The first thing he do, turn around, throw a damn interception. The first effing play of the game.
Lord.
Well, not of the game, but at offense. You throw an interception, and it didn't get any better. Well, he did score a touchdown, but he almost didn't get that because he fumbled as he was going in. Fortunately, he broke the plane. Anyway, I'm talking too much about football. Panthers sucked in the first game. I hope they can get it together this next week. It was only game one. It's a new coach, new offensive system, a lot of new pieces. So hopefully that was just their bad game to get it out their system, and I'm hoping they trend up from here. But man, if all the rest of them gonna be like this, man, oh boy, there's gonna be a lot more Uncle Marcus on the podcast on a weekly basis. So all right, I'm done.
I thought about taking a Sunday off, but I said, man, if you take a Sunday off, man, you better get you what's it called, a Sunday ticket and watch some other out of market games. Because I remember
That's what we got, and that's the thing. Spending all that money to watch my team play only to see them play like that. This is too expensive just to be watching y'all not even show up. Like, damn, at least try to play some football. Y'all never seen a football.
And then you got J.C. Horn talking, what happened? Go ahead and trip. What are you doing,
Yeah,
J.C.
do something,
Horn?
man.
What are
Yeah,
you doing?
sure, it's a busted coverage, but you know what? You can at least try to tackle the dude. But
He says, I'm going to throw my hands up. Marcus, I'm going to stop before Uncle Eddie runs wild. Before Unc runs wild. We done had enough of Unks running wild for the day.
there we go. At least the silver lining around that cloud was I had Rashid Shaheed on one of my fantasy teams, and
Me too.
I got some points off of that touchdown. So at least there was that.
Yeah, there's a bright spot out of that, man. All right, with that being said, y'all, for those of you that haven't tuned away from the podcast yet, just to let you know, sometimes it might get a little off track. Sometimes we might go on a rant, but nevertheless, we still going to talk about the world of pro grabs. And with that being said, we're going to lead off. How about Marcus? Did you see her? Did you see her tonight?
The queen?
Mm-hmm.
I saw. I didn't get to fully enjoy. I was busy. I was in the process of putting my daughter to bed, but I did see, and I was able to transition from the big screen to my phone for a little bit. But yeah, as always, the queen looked good, literally physically, and looked good in the ring with Mariah. And I hate how they're jobbing her out, but that's TK for you in his booking.
It's not fair. It's not fair, especially what happened Sunday, how she got this match. What was it, an eliminator match tonight?
It was supposed to be, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so.
All right. So Dynamite wasn't that bad tonight. I will say that. It kind of set up some stuff. One of the highlights was Marcus was marking out literally over the phone, and I can feel the energy because at Wrestle Dream, we're going to get Nigel McGuinness versus the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
Yes. 1,000 times over, yes. Oh man, y'all don't know how excited I am. I'm holding back right now. but I'm very excited.
I can sense the excitement there because I think it's in 2 weeks. Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Wrestle Dream. Grand Slam. You're right. I'm sorry. It's Grand Slam. Yes.
The Grand Slam. That's going to be truly an amazing bout between these two because those dudes have history, a lot of history, especially Ring of Honor history, and not Nigel is his biggest hater. It's like Kenny and Drake all over again. Biggest hater.
Hey, you know what? Nigel said sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Oh man. Yeah, and that model does not just apply to that song, but it also applies to life as well. All right, folks, let's get into it. All Out recap. Brad was there, Marcus watched, and my ass had to work. One day, I'm going to have one of those jobs where I had the weekends off. With that being said, if there's anybody looking for a guy that can do some creative graphics or looking for a guy that can film some video, I'm your guy. Hit me up. I'm on Twitter at The Real Cool Season. At The Real Eddie Cool, and on Instagram at Cool Season, all one word. Dive in them DMs because I need a side hustle and I need a Jobby McJobberstein. I'm not saying, I'm grateful for what I have now, but I want more. Ain't nothing wrong with want more. Like they say, you have not because you ask not. All right, let me stop before I start getting on my bully pulpit. Fueled by this Wolf for Reserve, and get right into it. All right, so we had a grand total of, including the pre-show, we had a grand total of 12 matches. So let's start from the top and work our way down to the bottom. We had a lot of pre-show matches. Let's see, one I'm looking at here, we had the Acclaimed, and they defeated the Iron Savages, 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Hologram, your boy Brad, Hologram, Sarah Guevara, and Dustin Rhodes. They defeated Premier Athletes, Tony Nese, Avia Davari, and Josh the Good Woods with Smart Mark Sterling. 9:50 in the trios match. Another trios match, the Bang Bang Gang, the Gun Brothers, and Juice Robinson. They defeat the Dark Order, consists of Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver. What did we say earlier today? Like the biggest faction in AEW was the Dark Order. Now it's like 3 people left.
Yep.
Yeah, something wild, ain't it? And then one of the fourth other matches, the Undisputed Kingdom. I don't like that. Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Roderick Strong defeated the Beast Mortos, Shane Taylor Promotions, which consists of Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, and Action Andretti and Top Flight. They had this big old trios match, so pretty much the Undisputed Kingdom won, 10 minutes, 55 seconds. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of the pay-per-view. MJF defeated Daniel Garcia, who had a fetish with his nasty self of making MJF's life a living hell. And that match was 23 minutes and 40 seconds. Fellas, give me your take on that match.
Seeing that match, that being the opener, a lot of people were kind of quiet in the beginning of the match because, MJF came out, right? And y'all know he had that big flag over, that showed camera side. Mm-hmm. What y'all didn't entirely see is when Danny Garcia ran out to beat him up, the flag fell down and it hit the whole front row.
Ooh.
It hit everybody in the front row. Everyone was okay because it was like light material, I guess, but the whole front row got hit with that flag. But the match itself, man, it's a hell of an opener. And he kind of, MJF wrestled, the way he wrestles his matches. It was pretty brutal. Danny Garcia got busted open early. That kind of told the story of what was going on. Great match. People started chanting, "This is awesome" at some point after Garcia got a fighting spirit and did a lariat. That's when everybody started chanting, and it was a good match. It was a really good match. I give those two credit. This was a really great opener. It was a long opener too. It was like 24 minutes, you said?
Yep, 20. Let me look at it again. 23 minutes, 40 seconds.
It was a long opener, but it told the story that it needed to tell. So yeah, I definitely thought it was a great match. I wish the ending was a little was a little different, but MJF is not on my TV screen for a while, so thank you, Danny Garcia, thank you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand that. Go
this
ahead,
one felt
Marcus.
like they should have. Yeah, it was a long match, and the ending. It felt too soon to pull the trigger on this feud, if you ask me. It makes sense now. I mean, knowing now that MJF's taking a little bit of time off, and of course they're trying to wrap it up for that. But yeah, just as for the feud, it just for it to have kind of built up, and then Danny Garcia being gone for a little bit, and then showing up at All In, and I think they could have stretched it out a little bit longer than just than what they did. And yeah, it took me a while to get into this one myself. Usually, for MJF matches and Danny Garcia matches, I'm all in for, but no pun intended. But it took me a while to get there with this one and stuff. But yeah, they did get there. I would like for them to kind of continue this when MJF comes back. Not really draw it out too much longer, but it just felt like they wrapped it up too quick. But not so much the match, but the feud.
Mm-hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, all in all, it was a solid match. Like Brad said, it told the story it needed to tell. Even though Garcia didn't get the win, he still got MJF got his comeuppance, and as the kids say, Danny Garcia got his lick back. Kind of putting MJF on the shelf.
Oh yeah.
Yep, got his lick back. All right, next match. The Young Bucks, the EVPs, defeat the Blackpool Combat Club in the tag team match for the tag team championships. 15 minutes, 45 seconds. Were there any semblance of hard fighting in this match?
A bit.
Yeah, there's a bit. I mean, Claudio being Claudio, that dude is a cardio machine. That
Yep.
guy was running, doing all the European uppercuts he could to anybody he could. Wheeler Yuta, had some good moments in this match, but Claudio, honestly, just he was the star. But they couldn't pull out the victory. But it felt like a typical Young Bucks match. They did pull out some crazy stuff as they usually do. Um, I was kind of like, I don't really care. I mean, I watched it, but I didn't really care. But
Yeah.
it would be nice to see the Young Bucks lose those belts at some point, but probably not going to see them lose it for a little while.
Yeah, same. I'm not the biggest Bucks fan. I won't go as far as say as they're down there with Jack Perry, but they're not too far above them in my opinion. The Bucks are one of those teams that they have to have the right dancing partners, in my opinion, to have a really good match. Like, because to your point, Brad, their matches are the same. It's like, okay, I get it. Super kick, super kick, super kick, high spot, this, that, melts the driver. Okay, like. For what they're capable of, they I don't want to say they phone it in, but it does just it feels very contrived many times, unless they're going against somebody like the Lucha Brothers, or FTR, or like in the past with like the Briscoes or something like that, somebody who will pull it out of them and all of that. But yeah, this one here, it wasn't. It was a solid match. This would have been a good Dynamite main event, I think. So
That's fair. That's
Right.
fair. It did get a lot of chants throughout this match. Like whenever the giant swing was about to happen,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they showed it on the pay-per-view, but they showed one section. Everybody was basically doing this the whole
mhm.
time. It was like the whole crew behind who was sitting behind the announce desk. That
Mm-hmm.
whole section, everybody. Then our section started doing it. Then a bunch of other sections started doing it. So I was like, that's kind of neat. It was pretty cool to see that. Pretty cool to see that in person.
Right. All right. And then one of the matches I was looking forward to seeing, which I didn't see. Like I said, I'm gonna get one of them jobs. I
Mhm.
promise you I am. I'm gonna call you one day. Hey guys, I'm no longer slinging desserts. I get to have the weekends
Hey,
off.
Yeah.
Moving up in the world, benefits and 401k. I'm still out here hustling though, legally. legally, so don't get no ideas. Will Ospreay defeated Pac by pinfall singles match for the AEW International Championships. 20 minutes and 20 seconds.
This was everything that I was hoping that it would be. Mm-hmm. This was amazing. We got flippy British wrestling. We got Flippy Pac, the man that Gravity forgot. Not so much we got the bastard too, but we also got the man that Gravity forgot. And I'm glad he showed up. Mm-hmm. And man, this was great. This was just a great match. Going back, good back and forth action. Just Ospreay is one of those guys. It's almost impossible for him to have a bad match. And Pac, he's already great. And you put two guys who are really good together, and of course you got magic.
One of my initial concerns, I'm like, okay, if Ospreay comes over here, will he wrestle a full schedule, or will he be like occasions only? Because sometimes you can put somebody out there so much, and it's like the nostalgia is worn off. It's just like me living in Atlanta and working at the restaurant, knowing that there's 5 other of those restaurants all over the city. It loses its novelty. As opposed to up in the Cleveland area, there's one on the east side, one on the west side. The east side is on the east side, the west side is on the west side, and there's no intermingling in between the two. So the novelty is still there. But from the looks of, hey, everywhere they go, man, people love Ospreay, bruv. I'm gonna have to get one of those jerseys, man. One of those bruv jerseys.
Jerseys.
Yeah, I call somebody bruv them. I hope they don't get mad.
Bruv.
All is well, bruv. Can't complain. Damn, I've been watching too much Top Boy and Will Ospreay. All right.
Oh man.
Anywho, we moving on to the next match. We got Chris Statlander with Stokely Hathaway, aka You Raggedy. She beats the queen of the street fights, Willow Nightingale, by submission. 15 minutes.
That was 15 minutes of hard fighting.
I knew it was.
15 minutes of hard fighting. And the worst part, we only got to see half of it because once they got by the stage and after Statlander got hit with the glass tubes and they were down on the floor, and I think it was after she got speared through the table, everybody started chanting, "We can't see, we can't see." I'm sure you probably heard it over the telecast, Marcus. Did you hear that chant that "We can't see" or "Turn the screen on"?
I didn't get to see a good bit. This was one of the matches. Like, there were a couple of matches that I didn't really get to see as much as I would have liked because I was kind of busy getting some things together. Was getting close to my daughter's bedtime and having a toddler. Toddlers are living tornadoes, and I was helping my wife clean up the living room from my daughter's path of destruction. So I'm kind of looking at it out of one eye and helping clean up and getting ready for bedtime, and I missed a good portion of this match, unfortunately. So I saw the highlights when they went off the stage, but didn't hear any of that. The good thing is, though, I ordered the pay-per-view this time on YouTube, and in doing so, I have access to the pay-per-view up until like October something. So I plan on going back and watching those matches again that I didn't get to fully enjoy and all that. Definitely with this one. Because Willow Bay and Stat.
Cheeklander. Cheeklander is the greatest name
the cheeks were cheeking.
They were cheeky, like and, fully.
And the split on the thumbtacks though, I was like, yeah.
So our section was cracking up like after that happened. Like one of the guys was like, "Those don't go there," and then somebody started, "Those don't go there." Those don't go there. But that match, like I said, it was a lot of hard fighting, lots of brutality between like two former friends. I mean, when Chris Statlander got pounced through the barricade, I was like, whoa, oh man. I was like, dang, she's just getting beat up. But after they had the whole thing and we were chanting, like, turn the screen on. Turn the screen on, and then they finally did it, and everybody's like, yeah. It's like you couldn't really see over the people that were standing in the other section, but it was a great match, told the story of what it needed to tell again about their street fight. When Statlander hit that Spanish fly off the top rope, I was like, oh, this is crazy. It was like these two were pulling out all the stops, but once the one thing that I'm still trying to figure out, Statlander pulled out a dog collar out from under the ring.
Ooh.
She pulled out a dog collar, but they put it on the wrist or whatever. And I was like, so is this a strap match now? And then the guys next to me were like, we don't know, but this is entertaining. And, just the brutality of these two. And I know a lot of people don't believe that, women should be participating in some of these matches, but dude, they be fighting the hardest.
I was like, why not?
Hardest. Yeah, exactly. It's like, if they can bring it just as crazy as guys do, make it happen. Let it happen. Because there's many, many matches like that out there. But yeah, also, just for the record, this was not for the CMLL Women's Championship.
Okay. Matter of fact, speaking of AEW, what's that one match? It was a street fight. Was it Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa?
That was one of them.
Lights Out match?
Yeah, the Lights Out match?
That match was amazing.
That was
crazy.
Look, to say that women should look. I enjoy women's wrestling. And I forgot the first street fight that Willow Nightingale was in. I was like, yo, I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan. I was a fan after that initial street fight match. And then to know that her niche is street, I mean, she's good. But know that, hey, she can mix up and do the street fight thing too. I'm all for it, and we need to see some more of it, all right? Yes. All right, our guy Okada Kazuchika, as they do in Japan. The reason why they do that in Japan, don't know if you guys knew that, but the last name has more prominence and weight than the first name. Because if you ever watch New Japan, Marcus, I don't know if you ever noticed when they introduce the wrestlers, they go...
Say the last name first.
They go... They go last name first and then first name last because the last name holds weight. Naito, Tetsuya, Ishii, Tomohiro,
Takagi, Shingo.
Yeah, Okada, Kazuchika. Yeah, it's just so we got Okada. He defeats Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Konosuke Takeshita, our guy. For the four-way, it was a four-way match for the Continental Championship. Are we going to get that match according to Dynamite?
It's looking like it. Looking like it.
Please.
Now that four-way though, that was a good match. I was able to enjoy that for much longer, and that was a really good match. But that definitely it put the debate on the poll for Okada and Takeshita, and tonight is looking like it's starting to come together, and I can't wait.
Yeah. That need to happen. That need to happen like yesterday. I swear it does need to happen like yesterday.
100%.
I enjoy them both because I mean when Takeshita first came over, it was it last year or the year before? I think Dark was still on, and I was like,
it was the
year before,
and I was like, who is this dude? Who is Takeshita? Like I'm gonna learn how to say his name. I mean, he's good, he's solid, he's a big dude, but I'm gonna need him and Okada, my birthday twin, born on the same day. I think me, Okada, and Jericho were born on the same day, or Jericho may have been born a day after me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We need it, book it, all right? Just like the Booty Battle Royal. I listened to last week's podcast, and I was in my car just laughing hysterically. The lady at the red light, like, what's wrong with you? I said, Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling Podcast. You need to listen to it. Even if you don't like wrestling, come holler at your boys, all right? Eddie, Marcus, Brad, come see about us. All right?
Booty Battle Royal 2025. Let's go.
Let's book it.
Yeah.
Book it.
Bucket Mania 2025. All right, well, I'm not going to do it again. What did I say? S10s, G-Wagons, Peter.
Dump trucks, wagons.
I was on one that night. I damn near made that a short, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna save that for another day. For it's evergreen. Like a lot of content we have here is evergreen in a way, if it makes sense. So Y'all gonna see the shorts. Don't worry about it. Stay tuned. Mercedes Moné defeats Hikaru Shida by pinfall for the TBS Championship belt, and Camille, her fine ass, was banned from ringside. Camille got muscle. She's strong. I like them strong.
Strong.
16 minutes and 30 seconds. How was this match?
It was okay. Standard Mercedes match. Hikaru Shida is a good wrestler. She is a good wrestler. It is just I don't know. It was better than last month's match. I'll say that much. It was better than last month's match. The one cool thing that happened in this match when I'm just trying to remember what happened. I think Mercedes countered the katana kick with a knee breaker and then a backstabber. It was pretty neat how she did it. And Sheeta pops up and then she hit Mercedes with the running knee, which was like those two had some good sequences, but it was an okay match. I mean, it wasn't a barn burner like I was hoping that it would be, but Sheeta brought it, Mercedes brought it. It just felt like, honestly, to me, that could have been another Dynamite or Collision match. To be honest.
Agreed. I thought it was kind of sloppy in a few areas, and I've noticed that from both of them lately in like separate matches. And I'm not like, I like Sheeta. I've always liked Sheeta, but yeah, at times I noticed that she can get a little sloppy in her matches, and I'm not sure maybe if it's just communication barrier with maybe her dancing partners or what, but just they seemed a little out of sync in some places. But yeah, in the good places they were on it. Monet, she's one of those people to me, like, it depends on who she's in there with. Like, I thought the match with her and Bianca Belair from WrestleMania a couple of years ago was chef's kiss, great. But then I've seen plenty of matches in between. I'm just like, I mean, they're technically sound, but I can't really say it's a great match or it's okay, I guess. And this one's about the same for me. It's just like, I would have rather just seen this on Dynamite or Collision or Rampage. Probably not Rampage because it's Monet. I doubt she'd ever be on there, but other than like a vignette. But yeah, it wasn't my favorite match of the night. Wasn't the worst, but wasn't my favorite.
How does the old saying go? I'm sorry, Brad. How's the old saying go? Was it, if you're good, you don't play down to your competition, but if you're bad, you play up to your competition? Something of that, like, it's kind of like, okay, well, for example, Bianca Belair and Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, that was top tier. So you had to play up. But sometimes, you play down when you don't need to play down, if that makes sense. I forgot how the phrase goes, but y'all know what the hell I mean, man.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd was into it. I mean, like there were like dueling chants throughout the match. The part when I'm trying to remember. It was this one part where Sheeta almost had it, where she hit her with the katana kick and she rolled out the ring, and everybody's like, because she was trying to roll and get the pin, and everybody's like, But it was just an all right match. I was expecting Camille to come out and do something, try to interfere, but I'm glad she stayed, in the back, and they just let them get after it. And what's her name's costume? Mercedes' costume. It's kind of neat. Kind of had like a silver, red, and blue kind of thing going. Pretty cool costume. It was just kind of funny. Like, in the beginning, she was wearing a kimono in the beginning, and she kind of had some like kind of she always has significance for her gear. So it was a nice effect. But Sheeta's she did her thing. It's just kind of, that match was just kind of there.
16 minutes 30 seconds. Moving on to the first of two main events, if you want to call it that. Bryan Danielson defeated Marcus's favorite, Jungle Jack, unseasoned, bland, no tahine, no Jamaican jerk seasoning, as plain as white piece of paper, Jack Perry.
The scapegoat.
The scapegoat.
Yeah.
His
I'll be
entrance was
honest,
kind of cool though.
This is a match I need to go back and see because it was around this time where my daughter was going to bed and stuff, and I didn't get to see all of the match, or I didn't really get to pay attention as much as I would have liked. And from what I saw, it was some pretty decent wrestling. And that's listening to the podcast. I actually listened to most of it earlier today, and just listening back to when I was going in on them last week, it's like, I admit, I said it, Jack Perry is actually solid, very solid in the ring. So in there with one of the best to ever do it. Of course, I'm sure that the physicality of the match and the actual wrestling would be pretty good. I just want to go back and really, hopefully, enjoy it. As for old boy Jack's character work and all that, now that's a different story. I don't believe him 1 second as being this badass heel. Or whatever, like, boy, sit down. Just come out and wrestle. Just say, hey, I'm Dylan. I'm Dylan from 90210, son. May he rest in peace. And go back in the back. And that's it. Call it a day.
It's almost like, okay, you went to Japan, you went to Mexico, and now you think you tough, don't you? Like, it's some gimmicks we can buy, and some gimmicks like, look, you gotta spray some Febreze on it because it stank. They go 27 minutes and 35 seconds. Now it's time for the main event. Hangman Adam Page, aka Burn Your House Down. I don't care if you bought it 5 hours ago. I'm finna burn it to the ground. Reminds me of We Didn't Start the Fire. He defeats Swerve Strickland in a lights out steel cage match. 31 minutes, 30 seconds of hard fighting.
This was absolutely bananas.
Banana.
Yeah, Brad, what was the house like there, man? Because sitting here watching it on TV, I'm just like, oh my God, to like several of the spots.
So much groaning, so much, oh my God. I was like this the whole time. I was like, you did not do that. But then I know we didn't cover what happened after Bryan Danielson's match, because that had everybody like that still had everybody shook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that set the stage.
That set the stage for this crazy lights out match. But man, the whole, like, especially with the cinder block, with the vertebraker on the cinder block, him pulling out the burnt piece of wood, trying to stab him like a vampire. I'm like, what? I was thinking he's about to stab him with a burnt piece of wood.
And
a lot of brutality. And the syringe part. Now, I was looking at it up close as possible as I could. I was like, I don't think there's a needle on the syringe, because it looked like it was more flesh inside of the like syringe part than a needle. Mm-hmm. But when he hit him with that chair, that was almost as loud as JBL getting hit by Stevie Richards. That's how loud that chair shot was. And I've never seen a match end by knockout with a steel chair before. I've never seen that before. That was new, but it was brutal. It was brutal. Both bled. Oh, the staple gun.
That was crazy. And you said the vertebraker on the cinder block, and then that one spot, like I think it was, I forget if it was the vertebraker or the other one, when Swerve went to drop Hangman on it, but he missed the block, but it still like scraped him on his back. I was just like, oh God, I think I would have rather landed on the block than scrape up against it. Have you ever scraped up against a cinder block? It doesn't feel good.
It hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts. I don't care how cool you try to make it look. Well, we got to try to sell it. You can try to sell it, but man, as a kid, I've encountered a lot of cinder blocks, and trust me, I don't give a damn if you accidentally graze upon it or purposely graze upon it. It
hurts. It hurts, Missy Pooh. It hurts. Like Otis said on the episode of Martin, it hurts.
It hurts. It hurts. Hurts. Oh, man. I'm trying to think what else was crazy about this. It was just the brutality. Just the sheer brutality, especially getting stapled up. He was like no selling the staple shots. And then he's just like, ha, ha, ha. Wow, and then he like stapled the pictures. He pulled out the pictures out of the bin, started putting them on Hangman's face, started stapling the pictures to his face, and I was like, oh, all of us were just like this the whole time. The whole arena didn't really know what to expect. They're like, they burned this man's house down, which, by the way, a cool feature, which I'm sure you guys saw on like the highlights on Hangman's entrance whenever he was coming over. They had an over the tunnel shot, brought him in, and then they showed on the Tron him with the whiskey sitting in front of the house as it's burning. Mm-hmm. That was a cool thing to see, and this music is perfect for this now. But it was brutal, man. It was brutal. And when Paige was coming back down to the ring, some lady screamed. So she's like, ah, as they and the audience and the audience, yeah,
shut up, no.
That's what it felt like, because she audibly screamed, and then the whole crowd gasped because they were tending to swerve, and Hangman was about to come down and either do some more damage or like see what he had done, and he was conflicted. So after the shot where he's like on the ramp, and it showed the AEW logo, that's what happened afterwards. And then he didn't know which tunnel to go into, because he was going to go into the face tunnel. Then he turned, he was like, he had his shirt, he's like, and then he turned around and went out the heel tunnel. So I was like, ooh, so it's official now. He's officially stamped himself. Complete. Yeah, it's totally complete, and everybody's kind of clapping to see Swerve get up. But that's one of the craziest matches I have seen this year, and there's been a lot of crazy matches this year. So, yeah.
Did y'all see that there is somebody who started a change.org petition to abolish AEW because of this? Because of this match, well, that match and the Danielson the bag thing.
Mm-hmm.
I seen that. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. It's no secret that AEW's content is a little bit edgier. The only reason somebody would react like that because this is their first time consuming the All Elite Wrestling product. Because what do? They push the envelope just a little bit. That's what it is. Stafford Entertainment Company conglomeration, modulation, P through 930, and all that stuff, not as much. All right? And they are still blocking out the holy chance. So Marcus, any hopes that we had of them letting the word fly, you can forget about it.
Even on USA?
Yeah. They did it last night, and I was like, yeah, man, this ain't it.
USA be cursing mad crazy after
after 11 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock sometimes. Yeah,
it's 10 o'clock.
Showing movies with F-bombs and everything in them.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, you hard cussing. What time is it? This is because I think you guys might have to look it up, but I think it's something with the FCC between the hours of this time and this time. You can't say this, or this word.
Mm-hmm.
After 9 o'clock, you can say this, and this word, because that's considered. Don't hold me to it. It's from what I heard and what I remember being told. So go read it again, do your own research. That they let them fly after hours. That's why on Dynamite, whenever they cussing, they let them fly. And I was like, oh, either they some hard cussing. Oh wait a minute, what's going on? So AEW is more edgier content.
Yes.
The fact that people want to sit there and be like, "Whoa, I'm gonna sign petition." That's about worse than that thing I showed y'all yesterday with the porn star talking about Rhea Ripley was racist.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand why somebody would try to get a petition signed for this. I was like, you're watching professional wrestling 20 years ago, and you guys can back me up on this. Chair shots were still a thing. People getting brains beat out with chair shots. Rock and Mick Foley at the Royal Rumble in the I Quit match. That man got hit 20 plus times in the head with a steel chair.
And he was still able to.
Yeah, he was still able to circumnavigate, and he was a little woozy, and he was a little mad at Dwayne for that. But He's like, I didn't hear anybody screaming about that. I didn't hear about when John Cena got stabbed by Jesus because of Carlito wanted the U.S. title. I didn't hear anybody like screaming about that because that was on UPN at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't nobody getting mad about that. It's just one of those things that some people just don't need to watch AEW that are kind of tunnel vision into what World Wrestling Entertainment provides. If you're into that sweet cookie cutter PG wrestling where nobody bleeds, chair shots are only on your back, you might get thrown through a table, things like that, go ahead and consume that, enjoy it. But this is why All Elite Wrestling is an alternative to that. If you're bored with that, if you're bored with PG wrestling, watch AEW or TNA or something else. But don't sit there and try to like sign a petition like, oh, this is glorified violence and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Uncle Brad is here.
Uncle Brad is in the building.
But the funny thing is, though, these same people who are talking about petitioning and whining about, I hear more about the chair shot than I do maybe the chair shot, then the bag spot, and then the syringe.
Yeah.
Those same people complaining about this are probably likely some of the same people like, oh man, I missed the attitude there. I wish they would bring that back. Or the same ones when hardcore stuff happens now. ECW. Like, have you ever seen an ECW show in the mid 90s? I'm not talking about that mess on Sci-Fi. I'm talking about mid 90s.
Mid 90s, even the TNN stuff.
Do you know about the mass transit incident? Do you know about the Taipei glue glass fist matches that Ian and Axel Rotten had? Do you know about barbed wire? Do you know about the flaming rings? And this is where you draw the line? Come on, man.
Yeah, you mad about a syringe getting stuck in somebody's mouth and a plastic bag. Like you said, Marcus, it was way worse back then.
Yeah, we saw a dude almost die because New Jack cut him with a doggone hook,
pizza cut,
sickle,
a
literal whatever. This man was gushing.
Yeah,
like a stuck pig.
Yes.
Y'all are tripping about this. Okay.
People are weird.
Bored. People are weird. They're bored.
Yeah. They're weird and they are bored. With that being said, there goes our recap of AEW All Out. Once again, they deliver another stellar pay-per-view. Now it's time to slide into some news and notes. 3 stories are picked, and we opine about it here on the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling Podcast or the COPW Pod on Twitter. Holla at us. Check us out. All right.
Count.
Yep. 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. All right. So the first story.
Count to 5.
Yeah, count to 5. Count to 5. The match is over. We have no time for that.
King Kong Bundy, y'all.
Yeah, him and Big E. Yeah. 5 count. All right. So story number 1. Cody Rhodes tops the PWI 500 for the first time, and the top 10 is revealed by Daniel Figueroa of The Takedown on Sports Illustrated. The Pro Wrestling Illustrated has been reporting on professional wrestling since 1979, back before the internet was a thing. PWI was the primary news source for many rabid wrestling fans out there. In 1991, they began publishing a yearly list of the 500 best wrestlers in the world. The PWI 500 is a great barometer for who's hot in the world of professional wrestling, who's next, and although they don't always nail it, Dean Malenko's number 1 was spot on. Dean Malenko being number 1 was questionable. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Dude, he was the best wrestler that year, hands down.
Yeah, he was bad. He was bad. Iceman. They certainly have their thumb on the pulse of the global wrestling landscape. All right. This year seems to be one of those years that they've called it correct, as Cody Rhodes has garnered the top spot for the first time in his career. Now, during the PWI 500 evaluation period from August 1st, 2023 to July 31st, 2024, Rhodes racked up several achievements, including winning the Royal Rumble, capturing the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40, as well as a tag team championship run with Jey Uso. I forgot about that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Drunken yeet.
Oh man, the drunken press conference, that was
press
hilarious.
conference was amazing.
The stuff that legends are made of. So, fellas, let's go ahead and take a look at the PWI top 10 of the 500. Number 10, Mystico. Number 9, Gunther. Number 8, John Moxley. Number 7, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Number 6, Damian Priest. Number 5, my guy, Tetsuya Naito. Number 4, Seth Time for Freaking Rollins.
I don't see how he made 4.
BET Uncut reference. Nobody picked it up. It's all good.
What? Say it again.
I said Seth Time for Freaking Rollins. Yeah. Brad got it. It's all good. Somebody got to get it though. You'll probably go back and be like, okay, I know what you're talking about. Number 3, Bruv himself, Will Ospreay. Number 2, Swerve Strickland, and number 1, Cody Rhodes. This top 10 ain't that bad.
I think Seth's a little high, but
yeah, I think he is a little high for this one. But did he deliver quality matches this year?
Well, Uncle Marcus has an opinion about Seth Rollins.
Me too. So I mean, I can't stand the guy, but
yeah.
He's not my favorite. I don't feel as bad. I don't feel about him that I feel about Jack Perry, but I think he's overrated. I'll just leave it at that for now. I'll save that rant for another day.
Okay, that's fair. Because honestly, I hate 2/3 of the Shield, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I get Seth because he held on to the World Heavyweight title for so long. That might be the reason he's up as high, because he had a long title reign.
Mm-hmm.
Gunther should have been a little bit more high, if you want to, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, to go from that historic reign with the IC title and then become a world champion. Yeah, I think he should jump up the list a little bit. Definitely over Damian Priest, if nothing else.
King of the Ring and world champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did it, man. You really can't. Yeah, man. I mean, number 1 is fine, but anything 2 through 6 may be a little questionable. All right. Story number 2, courtesy of SB Nation and Cage Side Seats, brother. All right. As we heard on Monday Night Raw is going back to 2 hours starting on October the 7th, 2024.
Thank you.
All right. So during this week's episode, according to the article, during this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, Joe Tessitore made an announcement you may have missed if you were on your cell phone, but had your attention pulled away ever so briefly. He didn't deliver it worth a damn. I ain't gonna lie to you. But you need to hear this one, folks. Monday Night Raw is going back to 20 hours. Good God. Seems like
20 hours. Oh,
20
God.
hours.
It seems.
3 is enough. That's too much.
Let me put this down. Anyways, on X/Twitter, it says, breaking news, WWE Raw will be on USA Network from 8 to 10 p.m. starting Monday, October the 7th through the rest of 2024, culminating with the USA Network finale on Monday, December 30th. It is worth pointing out that they weren't saying this is a permanent move, so it's unclear if the move to Netflix will mean going back to 3 hours. You better not. You're gonna lose people. It would seem silly to do so, but stranger things have happened. The talent roster is deep, and you have to wonder if 2 hours for each show is enough time to go around. No, it ain't. It ain't. I mean, we see this every Wednesday. We see this every Saturday. You think money's gonna be any different? I think not. It's 2 different companies suffering from the same problem: bloated rosters. Yeah, it'll be better eating catering. So, fellas, well, actually, Brad, you were a former watcher of the product, and we'll discuss why later. Why you don't F with it. I think it's long overdue that this is back at 2 hours. It needs to be, because that third hour is a struggle bus. I don't care what they pack in that third hour. It's just like,
it is a chore.
It is a chore.
Yeah.
It is truly a chore. I mean, for even whenever I did watch, that felt like that third hour, if they were going to be doing promos or backstage stuff, I was like, keep this train moving. Put some matches on before that main event. Otherwise, I'll be like this.
Yes, every week too. It's like a little mini the pay-per-view premium live event or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, I did like during the Thunderdome era when they had the Raw Underground thing. I thought that was cool. That was innovative. That was something different. But of course, that didn't last long. But yeah, otherwise, it's just it's drudgery just getting through that third hour sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you look at 10 o'clock and be like, here we go.
Jeez.
And now Monday Night Football's back too, and I'm like going back and forth, like, I think I'm gonna just stay over here on football at this point, unless it's a match or something I really want to see. It's just like, all right, I think I've had my fill of wrestling for the night.
Yeah, because because Monday Night Football season, 10 o'clock is like what, late third quarter, beginning of the fourth?
Mm-hmm.
Something like
that.
And by that time, if there's nothing on USA or Monday Night Raw that does catch your attention, hell, the other night I was looking at Aaron Rodgers and the damn 49ers. I'm like, and people, they always whine about old ratings. I'm like, look, let me tell you something. In this country, football is king. All right, let's just get out of the way. Football is king, and if you can somehow get in and get a little bit of audience, more power to you. But hey, man, it is what it is in the land of say, can you see? Third and final story coming from Wrestling Headlines: Bobby Lashley, MVP, in Orangeburg, South Carolina's own Shelton Benjamin in talks with AEW. Rumor, speculation, because you know how the wrestling business is. People be lying. Look at Dave Meltzer. All right. Some familiar faces to WWE fans have been in talks as late with AEW. According to reports, there have been talks and some actual plans to continue a faction similar to the Hurt Business outside of World Wrestling Entertainment with the former key members of the group. You're going to love this one. Totally Harmless Concept, LLC, filed to trademark the Hurt Syndicate a couple of weeks back, along with other MVP-related names and phrases. You want your stuff, you better take care of your business. AEW has reportedly been in talks with Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin in recent weeks. However, no deal was finalized, nor is one said to be imminent at the stage of this process. As noted, the deal for the Almighty in WWE recently expired, and with MVP and Shelton Benjamin being free agents, there's a chance that all three can join the promotion to continue a faction related to the Hurt Business. I think, personally, this is good for business because we saw the Hurt Business in the pandemic in the Thunderdome. We didn't see the Hurt Business in front of 10, 15,000 people. Whole different reaction. So if they do this, I'm all for it. AEW don't need nobody else, but if they do this, I'm all for it. What say y'all?
Yeah, I'd love to see them there, but my fear is just the whole roster bloat thing, the TK effect. Like, they'll come in, I'm sure he'll probably push them to the moon immediately, have them featured in some high profile bouts, and then kind of forget about them. And they'll probably be relegated to Collision or whatever show and chasing around for the ROH triple tag team, like the
Trios tag team. Yeah,
right. Come on, man. ROH be having some good matches.
They do, but I mean, we're talking about Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP here. Not no disrespect, not the Bang Bang Gang and Juice Robinson, not Top Flight, not the people who have held it. Like I said, nothing against them. There have been some great people to hold those belts in ROH. But we all know that ROH is stuck behind a paywall. We talk about it all the time.
Yes.
Those guys need to be on Dynamite in front and center. Those guys need to be on Collision front and center if they acquire them. They don't need to be riding the mid card and all that. And yes, I do realize they're getting up in age, and maybe they last I saw all of them in the ring, maybe with the exception of MVP. Lashley can still go. Shelton can still go. And I guess that's the way I see it,
Yeah, I mean, given that all three of these guys, I know they're up there, but Shelton Benjamin's out there doing his thing on the independents, having a good time, putting on great matches. Bobby Lashley recovering from all the stuff that injuries and whatnot. He's still able to put on a performance that he needs to put on. And MVP, if need be, he can step in and make something happen. But if MVP's like doing a player coach role, cool. But then there's so much black talent that is in AEW that somebody could slide in the Cedric Alexander role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could bring back Leo Rush. Now that he's back.
I mean, he's technically a part of Top Flight, so unless he finds a way to make his way back there, I mean, it could happen. You never know. But yeah, just seeing the trios landscape right now in AEW and Ring of Honor, it's pretty heavy out there. But I mean, I just want to see somebody like right now, because BCC is they are the trios champions. As far as we still know, they're still the trios champs. I mean, if those guys are able to come in at some point, dethrone them, or if they have a tournament, depending on if they kick out Wheeler Yuta or not. It'll be a cool thing. It'll be a good thing to see Bobby Lashley in there. Oh, you know what I thought of earlier?
What's that?
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Ooh.
Put him into there.
Maybe even Scorpio Sky, because they can't seem to. I mean, if he can stay healthy, but yeah, it just seems like they tried to pull the trigger on him and nothing's happening. But I mean, he'd be a great person, I think, to pull in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he could fill that Cedric Alexander role.
Right.
He could definitely fill that role for sure. I mean, you have your powerhouse, you have your collegiate wrestler purist guy, and then you've got your martial artist guy and MVP, the OG, and you put in Scorpio Sky, who's able to still high fly, unintentional rhyming. It could work. It could work. Yeah, I can see that working.
Yep, it really, really could. So, those are our three stories. Moving into our next segment. Oh, but I feel like this is like a commercial-free hour of Raw. But anyways, moving on to our next segment, we got football players that were professional wrestling in the spirit of football season, because we're fans of the gridiron, we're fans of the sport. As you know, I work at a radio station, and high school football is my specialty, and I love it. And, Brad, he's a Bucks fan, and he played in good old hot ass Houston, Texas, where it be hot as hell out there.
So hot,
just ungodly hot. Brad, did you live anywhere close to the Gulf? Did you get any kind of breeze or whatever? Or
I lived in the Gulf area. I'm from Galveston, so
okay.
Yeah. Our high school was like 3 blocks from the beach, so we would get the breeze depending on what kind of day it was, because we had 2-a-days. And for those that are not familiar with 2-a-days, you have your practice at like 8 in the morning, and then they bring you back out at like, they get you to go take a break after that first practice, and you come back at like 3 and finish up till nighttime. 2-a-days are a nightmare, and we would get the breeze every once in a while, but there are some days I was like, man, just drop me in the ice bucket, please. It's so hot.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just put me in and we'll get over it. All right. So let's look at some names here of. If you guys have any names, please feel free to let me know. Dick Afflis, also known as Dick the Bruiser. Now, Dick the Bruiser, he played. Who did he play for? He played 4 seasons with the Green Bay Packers and was also a professional wrestler, successful wrestler. 16-time world champion between the AWA, WWA, Indianapolis version, and some other local promotions stuff like that. So there's Dick the Bruiser. Monty Brown. Yep, Monty Brown was a linebacker. Yeah, he was licking himself. And, I was like, what am I looking at? Yeah, he he be doing the whole.
That's my dude.
Man, looking at you like an animal. He might. Yeah, he was. I just wish that when it came to him, Marcus Corvon can go to hell. But we needed more Monty Brown. More, we needed Marcus Corvon. Yeah, I see why you dislike the product of Marcus, because hey, it's all about. We know at the end of the day, it's all about intellectual property. But at least get it close. We're not, as wrestling fans and people, we're not stupid. We know where he came from.
Exactly.
So don't try to insult on and tell about, well, his name is Marcus Covan. He's going down. Gave him some old jive, turkey shucking jive music. What the hell is this? He's a dude. The hell? What are we doing? Alpha male. Give me the alpha male. Give me him knocking people out the ring. Pow! Yeah, just give me Monty Brown. Just give me the former Buffalo Bills linebacker and former New England Patriots linebacker as well, too. 6'2", 265, all right? Let's see. R.I.P. to Darren Drozdoff, a.k.a. Droz. Droz played for the Denver Broncos. Yep. He was 6'4", 270. Solid dude. He played defensive tackle for the Denver Broncos. I'm pretty sure he was way bigger than that, all right?
Yeah. Did you hear how he got it into the WWE? Or one of his parlor tricks that Vince loved or whatever?
You can puke on command.
Yeah.
He's got a puke.
He's got a puke. I think they showed it on Beyond the Ring.
They did, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's coming from the same guy who gets mad at people for coughing.
And sneezing and farting.
Sneezing, especially the sneezing part.
Damn it, who sneezed? You're fired.
I'm talking trash to him. Hey, man, look here. You sneeze too. Stop it. You shouldn't talk to the boss like that. Nah, man, F this dude, man. I don't care if he owns the company or not. I fart, he fart. I spit, he spit. I sneeze, he sneeze. That's the end of this. Well, you think you're an alien? You tripping. All right, so Bobby Duncombe Sr., all right? Bobby Duncombe Sr., who did he play for? His American football career, he was a 3-year letterman with the West Texas A&M Buffaloes football team. And then he was selected by the St. Louis Cardinals in the 13th round of the 1967 AFL-NFL draft and appeared in 4 games with the St. Louis Cardinals. I keep forgetting the Cardinals were in St. Louis. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Our boy, the one and only. Who's hotter than Top Dollar? Nobody. Flying ho.
AJ Francis.
Francis.
He's actually doing all right in TNA, though.
Yeah, he's actually doing great over there. Is he still the digital media champion?
He's not doing
No, I think PCO is now.
Is it PCO the champion? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I haven't watched in a few weeks.
He not doing the whole.
No, he's like teasing that in matches and stuff like that. But yeah, he's actually doing it.
He had a history. He was a part of practice squads or members of the Miami Dolphins in 2013. The Patriots. He had a few years stint with the Dolphins from 13 to 2015. Seahawks for 1 season. Practice squatter for the Buccaneers. For the Washington football team from 16 to 17, and a practice squatter for the New York Giants, and he had a grand total of 20 tackles. All right, so AJ Francis, 6'5", 330 pounds, and was trained by the Dudleys. All right, moving right along. Bill Goldberg. He formerly played. I think he got drafted in the expansion draft by the Carolina Panthers, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's correct.
He did.
Yep. Before that, he was on the practice squad or off-season member of the LA Rams. Then the Sacramento Surge of the World League of American Football, a.k.a. WLAF. The Sacramento Gold Miners, the Atlanta Falcons from 92 to 94, and then a practice squad or an off-season member of the Carolina Panthers. One thing, though, he is a world champion, as this team won the World Bowl, the Sacramento Surge, 21-17 over the Orlando Thunder in 1992. So he might have a ring. during his time at the University of Georgia, he was a first-team All-SEC back in 1989. Pretty big damn deal. To be All-SEC, you ain't no bum.
Yeah.
You know who else played for the Panthers too? Well, he wasn't a wrestler, but he did appear on an episode of Monday Night Raw. LeVar Ball.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Wait, what? This dude was a Panther?
Oh, real quick, breaking sports news for those of you that give a damn. If I can find it, apparently, allegedly, supposedly, announced 42 seconds ago, they are rebuilding the Pac-12 conference. All right.
Ooh.
What?
They are rebuilding the Pac. I know it's a wrestling podcast, but since we talking about football, how apropos, right? According to Yahoo Sports, they're going to be rebuilding the Pac-12 conferences, and they're looking at Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State, and Colorado State.
Yeah.
It'll be Boise's conference to win already, so we already know that.
What?
Yeah,
why? I mean, it feels like the Mountain West all over again. Like,
literally.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the Mountain West. What? Why? It's dumb.
It's the damn Mountain West on roids. All right, so let's see. Adam Pac-Man Jones. He didn't wrestle. His finisher was a football. You remember due to his contractual obligations, he couldn't do anything.
Oh yeah.
It was like,
then they had Creed to step in, Austin Creed.
Yeah.
AKA Xavier Woods.
Was it Creed? And what didn't he have a match with R-Truth too before R-Truth left?
Yes.
Yeah, they were teammates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Truth and Consequences.
Yeah. What was his finisher? He took the football and threw it at you. He sidestepped you and took a football and threw it at you. I understand. TNA, I knew what you were trying to do. I get it. I understand. Okay, well, he's a bad boy. Let's go ahead and use that notoriety over here. I get it because he was in the airport beating up people at a Bojangles in Atlanta airport. That was anyways.
That's crazy.
That dude stayed in some stuff, man.
Always.
You and Jerry Porter. You mean Joey Porter? Because Jerry Porter played for the anyways. That's digress.
Right. Good old Joey Porter, man. I like that. That dude is nice. No matter what some people say, that dude is a very nice person.
Who, Joey Porter?
Yeah. Me and my buddies ran into him in Vegas once, and this was shortly after he got into that fight with that offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're like, hey man, careful out here, man. Don't be getting into no fights with no jug butts. And he started laughing. He's like, I like y'all.
Yeah. His nickname was Peasy. Peasy didn't play, man. Peasy did not play.
He did not.
Of course, we got Pat McAfee, former punter for the Indianapolis Colts.
Let's go.
Yeah, turned Mr. Everything for World Wrestling Entertainment. He was a first-team All-Pro in 2014, two-time Pro Bowler in 14 and 16, the Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie Team in 2009, and a first-team All-American in 2008, and at this point in career, he still holds the record, Brad. He holds the record for the highest career net average punt yards with 41.
Wow.
Yeah, with 41. Because sometimes, those punts, they do their own thing. His career statistic, 575 punts, over 26,000 yards. Average 46.4 a punt, longest punt 74 yards, and he had 193 punts inside the 20-yard line. Do we need to wait for brother Marcus?
Maybe.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah, we can wait. There he is.
Oh, there it is.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hey, sorry about that. The little one woke up and she was crying and stuff.
I figured that.
Understood, man.
Go put her in there with her mama.
Yep, I was like, baby's crying. Moving right along to a man who's unfortunately he's suffering from ALS, man. It's real sad to see this, man. It literally breaks my heart. I can't even look at him the same way.
Yeah.
H-Town's own Steve Mongo McMichael.
Mongo!
Yep. In 1980, he was a member of the New England Patriots. From 81 to 93, a member of the Chicago Bears. And 1 year in 1994 as the Green Bay Packers. And he was a coach of the Chicago Slaughter of What fucking league is this? The CIFL, an indoor football league.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know what the hell is this. From 2017 to 2013.
Okay.
Super Bowl champion, a 2-time All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, Pro Bowler twice, a 2-time Pro Bowler in 86 and 87, PFR's 1980s All-Decades team, the 100 greatest Bears of all time, Chicago Bears all-time team, unanimous All-American, first time All-SWC in 78 79, and as a coach, he run the ring, and as a wrestler, he was a one-time United States WCW heavyweight champion. And Mongo had 95 sacks, and he played defensive tackle.
Yeah, he was getting after it, and he is a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer. I'm just glad to see him. Give them their flowers, man. You got to give these folks their flowers. Y'all gonna love this one. The first one that crossed my mind was Bronco Nagurski. All right, Bronco Nagurski was recognized as a multi-time world champion. Reading this off of Wikipedia, and he was a Canadian-American professional football player who was a fullback and defensive tackle in the NFL. I think he played both sides of the ball. He was renowned for his size, strength, and he was also a successful professional wrestler. During this time, he played fullback, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, and he played for the Bears from 1930 to 37 and one more stint in 43. And he was the backfield coach at UCLA in 1944. Nagurski was a 3-time NFL champion. He led the league in rushing touchdowns in 32, a member of the All-30s team, the 75th anniversary team, 100 greatest Bears of all time, and his number 72 in Minnesota has been retired. And he is also a member of the College and Pro Football Hall of Fame. Leo Nomalini, okay? Italian-American professional football player and wrestler. He played also at Minnesota. He was selected by the 49ers. He played 14 seasons as defensive tackle, all done with the 49ers, playing his first 3 years as an offensive tackle as well, too. So, Leo Nomalini. So when he got into wrestling, he wrestled in the NWA San Francisco territory, known as Leo the Lion Nomalini, debuting in 1950, 10-time tag team champion. Let's see, an NWA World Tag Team Champion, the San Francisco version, and he had a pretty storied career. And he retired from pro wrestling in 1965. Quinn, you're gonna love this one. Quinn Ojanaka, aka Moose. Moose. Yeah, Moose. He also played for the Atlanta Falcons. He was teammates with Jason Snelling and Ovi Muhaley. All right. From 06 to 09, he was on the Falcons, and his last full-time stint was 2012 at the Rams, and 2011 with the Colts, and he was an offensive tackle / guard. He was a whopping 319 pounds back then. Of course, we know this guy here, Flying Brian Pillman, all right? Pillman played special. I can do this by myself. Pillman played special teams for the Cincinnati Bengals. He was an undersized defensive tackle. He played at Miami of Ohio, and he was like an All-American Division II. So he was pretty good. And Flying Brian went on to become the loose cannon. He played high school football at Norwood, Ohio, and he went undrafted in 1984. 1 year at the Bengals. A party with the Bills, and 1 year with the Calgary Stampeders, where he met. Yeah, you were the wrestle kid. Yeah.
It's too hard.
Yeah,
love it.
Yep,
Love
and he was the 1983 MAC Defensive Player of the Year and second team All-American in 1983. Let's see if I can find some more notable names here. Hey, Marcus, D'Angelo Williams.
That's right. I was going to mention him if he didn't come up.
Yep,
D'Angelo Williams, who looked pretty good in the ring. I'm like, yo, you might need to pursue a wrestling career after this, man.
I'm surprised he didn't.
Yeah. He did great.
He was phenomenal, man. Yeah, I got to watch that match. He was a first-round pick from Memphis. First round pick, 27th overall by our very own Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
One half of the Double Trouble duo.
Smash and dash.
Yes, sir. He spent 2006 to 2014 with the Panthers. With the Steelers, 15 to 16. He led the NFL in touchdowns twice in 2008, 2015. His jersey is retired in Memphis. He has 61 rushing touchdowns. In his professional wrestling career, he was trained by none other than Scott D'Amore.
Nice.
Yep, and made his debut in July the 2nd, 2017, weighing in at 207 pounds and standing at 5'9" tall.
And wasn't Moose's partner in that match or something like that?
Yes, and former Panther Gary Barnidge, his useless ass. I'm sorry, Gary Barnidge. He was there too, just to go, hey y'all, what's up? All right. Let's see if I can find something. Oh, do you guys remember Lester Speight? Do you know who he was known as?
No.
He was known as Rasta the Voodoo Man. Yeah, I think he.
Rasta the Voodoo Man.
I think
that
he
name
wrestled.
Sounds familiar.
I think he wrestled in GWF. Look him up. Yeah,
that's why. I was gonna say Rasta the Voodoo Man sounds very familiar.
Yeah, he was known as Rasta the Voodoo Man. He was big as hell. He was on an active roster, was he? He was on an active roster and didn't play. Percy Watson was also on the active roster and didn't play, as well as.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was so funny. As well as Chad Fortune, a part of that ill-fated ass team, Techno Team 2000.
Ooh.
All right, let's see. Roman Reigns played at Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Commander Aziz Bambatunde, him. Dabakato, I didn't know he was Nigerian and Polish. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
He played for the Minnesota Vikings in 2015, and he played in a Euro Football League between 2007 and 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Roman played for the Vikings too, as well for a bit.
Yeah.
Who?
He did.
Roman
Reigns.
Yep, he did. He played for Vikings for a little bit. Yep, Joe NOI played Georgia Tech and played for the Vikings for a little bit. So he said, "Hey man, fuck this, I gotta go." And I think he played in Canada too, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, Demetrius Bronson, who is known as Demetrius Bronson, Mr. Bronson. Yeah, very little. He was an NXT guy, man, but it fades. It fades. The Missouri Tiger, Jeff Gaylord. Yeah.
Wow. That's old school USWA right there.
He was a Missouri. Yeah, he was a Missouri Tiger, 6'3", 260. He played for the University of Missouri, and then he also played for the San Antonio Gunslingers in the USFL. Wild dude, all right? Wild dude. Our very own Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh.
Yes, sir. He
tough
also,
guy.
Yeah, tough guy. Let's see. He played. Let me see. He was a former football player, so I think he did. He play for the Bills. I'm looking to see if he played for the Bills. Well, he broke something. Anyways, let's see who we got here.
He broke something.
Yeah.
Did you mention Vader yet?
Nope. But Leon White, he played for the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Big Van Vader. Dean Matati. Do you know who that is?
That name sounds familiar.
That sounds familiar.
You ain't hype, bro.
Mojo Rawley. Yeah.
Mojo.
Yep.
About Thomas P. Stock.
I'm about to say, yep, Thomas P. Stock, also known as bum-ass Baron Corbin. He played for the Cardinals and was big as hell.
Big.
Mojo played for, who did he play for?
He played for Green Bay.
He played for the Patriots, right?
Green Bay and the Cardinals.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Green Bay and the Cardinals. Bronson Rechsteiner, also known as Bron Breakker, got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, but played his ball right up the road from you, Marcus, in Kennesaw State University.
Yeah, I passed Kennesaw State the other day.
Yep.
That's Shoney and Ackworth.
Didn't go that way, unfortunately, but it was close, not too far away from where I was.
Go to Ackworth, get the act right. No, but the one and only Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Yep. The Brandon Bull Paul Orndorff. He played college at Tampa. He was a tight end and a fullback. How big was he? 6 feet, 252. Okay. He tried out for the Saints, the Bears, and the Jacksonville Express, but he said, you know what? I'll just go ahead and be Hulk Hogan's tag team partner. Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Who did he? Yeah, he played for. That's the reason why I wrote this. I forgot. Did he play for?
I forget who Jim Neidhart played for.
I forgot, but he played for He played for somebody. He played football somewhere. He played for somebody. All right, of course.
Get your rhinos.
Yep, you big rhino, man. You got to get that big rhino a job. Sylvester Ritter, the Junkyard Dog. He was a former football player. He played for Fayetteville State University. And then he got signed with the Green Bay Packers in 76. Was placed on injured reserve after suffering a knee injury during the offseason and was waived from the injured reserve on 1976. And he went to grabbing them cakes after that. Lex Luger, also known as Larry Fall. I think he had a stint with the Green Bay Packers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes. Montreal LOS, Green Bay Packers, Tampa Bay Bandits, Memphis Showboats, and the Jacksonville Bulls. All right. The total package Lex Luger, he was huge. Our favorite, Uncle Ron Simmons, Florida State University. And then he got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Then went to Canada, played for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and played for the Tampa Bay Bandits and from 83 to 85. Let's see. Merced Solis. Do you know who that is?
Tito Santana.
Yes, sir. El Matador, Tito Santana. He also played football. He was in the CFL. He played tight end. And then he tried out for the Chiefs and the BC Lions. All right. Well, good old Tito Santana. He was 6'2", 234, so wide receiver type. As we mentioned, Leon White, Vader, played for the Rams. Mace. Brendan Williams, also known as, what was his name? Mason Madden or Dio Madden, something weird like that.
Yeah, Dio Madden.
Yep. He played for the Houston Texans. And then later he was on the Jaguars and Patriots roster. And rounding out this list, because I went through the whole thing, South Carolina's own Dale Wilkes.
The Patriot.
Yeah,
the Patriot, Dale Wilkes.
Yep. He was an offensive lineman at Irmo High School in South Carolina and played for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Yep, and don't do that.
Irmo was my high school's crosstown rivals. Well, one of the crosstown rivals. Sorry.
Yeah. Where'd you go? Was it Richland Northeast?
Yes.
Okay, R&E.
Let's go Cavaliers.
What team was the Diamond Hornets?
Lower Richlands were the Diamonds. They may have added the Hornets after that.
Yeah, because I was somewhere and I was like, what the hell is a Diamond Hornet? It sounded cool. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I don't know about the Diamond Hornets. I know, Lower Richland High were the Diamonds, but maybe they did add the Hornets after a while. I don't know.
Diamond Hornets. That's a tough name.
It is. It's like man.
We ain't just Hornets. We Diamond Hornets.
Like, we're Diamond Hornets. It's gonna sting and it's gonna hurt.
Yes, and you can't break us.
Exactly.
All right, let's see. Ricky Ortiz. He played in the CFL.
Oh yeah.
That dude was trash in the ring.
Man.
Yeah.
But he got to marry Layla.
Of all people, like just we gotta look at some of the luckiest dudes on the planet. And he's definitely one of them.
He is one of them.
Did we mention Trick?
No.
Trick Williams, yeah, he was a former South Carolina Gamecock as well too.
Speaking of, word on the street is he may be making like a guest appearance on College Game Day this weekend because they're gonna be in Columbia.
I sure hope so. Yes, The Rock with University of Miami, and he played in Canada. EJ Nduka. Yep, EJ Nduka, or somebody call him Edge Nduka. EJ Nduka. This guy like Edge Nduka. I'm like, it's EJ, man. What's wrong with you?
EJ.
Yeah. EJ Nduka. Have you guys seen him in action?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw him in MLW a couple of years ago. I know he's in ROH now, right?
Yeah, I saw him a few weeks ago. That's a big old dude.
Yeah.
Like, He is huge.
6'8", 285.
Yeah, the dude's a foot taller than me.
Yeah.
He was a foot taller.
He is a foot taller than me.
Yeah,
Oh,
he got signed by the Argonauts and bounced around all over the place. He plays college ball at the Sam Houston State University. Let's see. Anybody else? Arena League football. Titus O'Neil played there. Bobby Duncan played there. Heidenreich. Puppy Dog. Obafemi. No, Obafemi was he threw the shot.
He's a shot.
Never mind.
Yeah, he looks like he can play football, but yeah, he's a track and field guy. Those man, and I know what's his name? D'Angelo Williams. Did you guys ever get to see him play like college football
in Memphis?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a problem.
Man,
I never watched him in Memphis, but of course watched him with the Panthers.
Yeah, he was a problem.
Yeah, being in Conference USA for the University of Houston, he came down to Houston to play. I think he ran like 120 something yards on the 2003 team. The 2003 team was not very good, and he was just running up and down the field like it was nothing. And I was like, what can you do?
Yeah.
It's like, you can't do anything with this guy.
Yeah. All right, so let's see what we got here. Female football players, Christy Hemme.
Huh?
Oh yeah, was she like
in
one of like the? She wasn't in the lingerie football league, was she?
Yes, along with Summer Rae.
I remember she was there.
And she's a brick house. Camille Latimer, also brick house.
What team did she play for?
She played for the London in the LFL. I gotta find out which team.
Man, I'm curious now.
She was an arena football player. Interesting. I'll tell you, that's interesting. Yep. So I went through the whole entire list. I mentioned some past stars, present stars, stars of the future. Wilbur Snyder, one of them old dudes. Wilbur Snyder. He also played football as well too. It doesn't specify where Wilbur played football.
Did you mention Kevin Green and
yes,
LT?
Kevin Green, LT. I think I'm missing somebody.
Who else am I having?
Fridge Perry.
Oh yeah,
William Perry.
Yeah. Who else?
Bart Scott had a match in TNA, didn't he?
Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, can't wait.
He did.
Brian Urlacher came in for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? It was just so many. It was just so many people that came through there so quickly.
Kevin Wycheck.
Oh yeah, Frank Wycheck used to play tight end.
Frank Wycheck, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Frank Wycheck.
Yep. R.I.P. to Frank Wycheck.
He died?
Yeah. 2 years ago.
I think I do remember that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, R.I.P. Frank Wycheck.
Frank Wycheck, one of the orchestrators of the Music City Miracle.
Oh, so I found out what team Camille played on.
What?
The Atlanta Steam.
Okay.
Here in town.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever caught one of those games on TV when they were on TV for a little bit. Them girls be doing some hard hitting.
Yeah, hitting real hard.
I'm like,
I'm seeing the highlights. I'm like, man, okay, this ain't just TNA here. Them girls are playing.
Them girls are playing.
I think Dusty Rhodes played football. I guess he played for the Dolphins a little bit, or was in training camp.
Yeah.
Him. I'm looking at one more list. Wahoo McDaniel. How could I forget him?
Yeah, he played.
He played for the Oilers, the Broncos, the Jets, and the Dolphins. And of course, Big Cat, Ernie Ladd, Andre the Dummy. I'm gonna tell you right now, you make me sick. I'm gonna throw you over the top rope. I'm gonna beat you real good, Andre the Dummy. I gotta show you this. I gotta show you this promo.
It's so great.
Your egg sucking dog.
Yeah, he's like, look at your egg sucking dog. You go yik 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 yak yak yak. I was like, oh boy, somebody done turn Ernie up, boy. When he get turned up, start talking that trash. Andre the Giant, when I see you, I'm gonna slap your face in the general public, and you're not gonna do a thing about it.
Getting big enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna pin you again, dummy. Yeah, you sure were. Yeah, you remind me to see on that promo of Big Cat Ernie Ladd, and I think he was so deep into the promo that his throat got dry. He's like, "Ah, oh, I get so sick just thinking about it. Oh, it's just epic. Yeah, Ernie Ladd. I think he made 2 Hall of Fames. I think he made the NFL Football Hall of Fame and also the WWE Hall of Fame. He had feuds with Andre the Giant, Bruno Sammartino, Wahoo McDaniel, just to name a few. And he was a bad dude. He's like, you know what? I'll slam you, Andre the dummy. I'm not scared of you because you're a dummy. You hear me? You're a dummy.
Dude was notorious for calling people dummy.
Yeah.
And he's a big old dude. Like that. That's the thing. People didn't realize how big Ernie Ladd was. That was a very large man. I remember my granddad used to tell me that he played football either with him or either against him way back when. And he's like, let me tell you, Ernie Ladd, big, just huge human being, and he hit you hard, like real hard.
I think he was a defensive end.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So he must have been Andre that dummy. I'm gonna pin you again, you dummy. Hey man, hey look, if you don't call me a dummy, man, I'm not gonna argue. I'm gonna have to just deal with it and take my ass home. All right, so we come to the final portion of the show. It's a long show, but you know what? It's uninterrupted, baby. It is what it is. Yeah. And so before we get the hell up out of here, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the full screen real quick. We're going to have a moment with Brad. Now, if you've been listening / watching the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling podcast, whenever the topic of World Wrestling Entertainment or the World Wrestling Stanford Entertainment conglomeration, amalgamation, corporation, and all that's brought up, Brad really ain't got nothing to say. And I'm pretty sure people are like, how come Brad ain't got nothing to say? We know why Brad don't say anything, but now it's time for Brad to express his feelings about the product to the public. So, Brad, the flow is yours.
Thank you, gentlemen. Hopefully everybody's doing all right out there and are enjoying the show.
You better be. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Stick stay. Don't you out there go away.
Yeah.
But
or you going to get hit with a flying hoe. But go ahead, Brad. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That never gets old. Never gets old.
Never will it ever.
So as Eddie has mentioned, I do not enjoy the product of World Wrestling Entertainment. I have various reasons. It's a litany. It's a ridiculous list, but I'll keep it short and sweet. Possibly. Mm-hmm. First thing, just to kind of ease y'all into the story, I've been watching wrestling since I was 3 years old. All of it. Got introduced to the Paul Bosch stuff back in the 80s with my cousins. Started watching Wrestling Challenge on Saturday nights. And then, WWF was the thing. Ran into some WCW stuff later. I was like, yeah, this is great. It's great. It's fantastic. Watching my whole life. It wasn't until about 2009 is when I started finding out some stuff about the product. I was like, you know what? This is really getting hard to watch. Even though I had like a classic time in 2009 at WrestleMania 25, which was in my hometown of Houston, Texas. Fantastic time, and I have a whole other story about that whole week. That was an incredible week, but the product was not good. I was like, okay, it'll get better. 2010 hits, it'll get better. 2011, it'll get better, but it never really got better. In some instances, never really got better. And I just don't enjoy this product. It's like you wait, at least for me, you wait on the good thing to happen and you don't really get the comeuppance of it, or there's too much of the promo or too much of the blah blah, or it's just a lot of the results of the matches. I started getting annoyed. Started really, really getting annoyed. But once it all came to a head during the Thunderdome era. When it started, honestly, it started when Roman Reigns came back and beat the Fiend for the Universal title, or the World title, whatever it was at that SummerSlam. I was livid. I was like, "What? This man just got this belt. What is this? This is garbage. He just comes back for this, man. Forget this product." And then the draft came up, later, like a month, like 2 months later, they split up the New Day, and I was like, well, that's it. I'm out. I'm done. I was like officially done after that, because how do you split up one of your best tag teams, let them go their separate ways, but they still kind of kept it together though, which was kind of neat for them. But I just stopped watching the product. I didn't really enjoy it as much, even though Big E won the world title. I was like, I wish I could enjoy this, but I can't because I don't like watching this show. I don't enjoy the product. Even NXT. I loved NXT. I was for NXT from the beginning to, I think it was once 2.0 started their thing. I was like, I don't like this. This is too bright. This feels like something that isn't authentic to what we watched as, the NXT Black and Gold. Couldn't stand it. And now to this present day, that 3 hours of Raw that y'all mentioned, I still feel your pain. I'm like, sorry, I'm watching something else right now. I'm watching something else, but y'all deal with that 3 hours. It's just not. I just don't enjoy the product anymore. Ever since All Elite Wrestling came around, TNA started doing more tours, things like that. I started finding more wrestling to watch because there's a lot of wrestling out there, y'all. There's a lot. Even though you see back here, you see 3 out of those 4 belts are for that company. That top one right there. I put that AEW one up there because it's the most top heavy too, to keep some stability, physics. But but I honestly enjoy other wrestling now. I've filled the palette with other stuff. So, just give another show a try. Give another company a try. If you like lucha wrestling, for example, Lucha Underground, one of my favorite shows. I've been trying to get Brother Marcus on there. Come on, Uncle Marcus. You need to get on this Lucha Underground train.
One of these days.
Soon, sir. Y'all could supplement it on Mondays for that terrible third hour. But I started.
What's this third hour looking like? What's the main event? I'm going over here.
On demand, and that's how I got Lucha Underground. That's how I really started, being able to watch it. I was like, dang, there's so much wrestling out there. How can I fit Lucha Underground into this? And I would watch it on the third hour of Raw sometimes. I'd be like, oh, on demand, bloop, there we go. Watch Lucha Underground, kind of peek on the other TV, see what's up, and then, might turn back to it. But it's so many folks that we love, so many folks that we enjoy. They're having fun elsewhere. Who's the one? And I know we did Fumble Talent a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's not entirely a fumble talent, but they kind of did fumble him there. The former Adrian Neville, a.k.a. Pac.
Yeah.
That dude had everything. He still has everything. But when he was in WWE, they basically tried to package this man as a Mighty Mouse superhero character because that's what Vinnie Mac wanted. He wanted his Mighty Mouse. And he had the Mighty Mouse, but that man barely won matches. I can't even remember any titles that he won on the main roster outside of the Cruiserweight title.
I think that was it.
I think it was the Cruiserweight title. He was almost Intercontinental Champion. He was like one of the longest reigning NXT champions and NXT Tag Team champions when he was with Corey Graves. Watching that guy go from development to main roster, I was so happy. I was so happy to see Neville on main roster, and then they start jobbing him out, and I'm like, this sucks. I don't want to watch this anymore. I could go on and on and on, but I don't enjoy the product. Even though a lot of people say, yo, under the Triple H era, it's changed, it's gotten better. To me, I can't sit through a SmackDown. I can't sit through a Raw. On SmackDown, does Tama Tonga talk? Or does he make Tasmanian devil noises the whole time?
He sometimes talks. It's not a whole lot. Like, he talked the other day after they showed up in NXT and decimated folks. He only said like one line though.
Oh, see, It's stuff like that. It drives me nuts. It's like you bring a world beater from New Japan Pro Wrestling who's able to cut promos, talk noise, all this other stuff, and you bring him to being like, yeah. What
Kinda like
is
the
that?
honeycomb gut thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the honeycomb monster that look like Juice Robinson.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing that Juice Robinson looks like.
Yeah.
It does.
I'm sorry, Juice, but I saw that on Twitter one day and I said, "Oh my God, I can't get it out of my head now." But
They do look alike. Now that you say that, oh my God.
it just frustrates me to no end how they treat talent that comes from the outside to come in, and they either give them something dumb or it just doesn't work. And of course, you have to show people video packages to get these people over, to get the people over. And it's like, if you watch other wrestling, you would know who this person is. You would know who they are. But I digress. I just don't enjoy the product, y'all. I have tried. Did not watch a pay-per-view with y'all last year, and I tapped out halfway through.
You did it earlier this year, once or twice, I want to say.
Yeah, I might have. I remember it was a SummerSlam one year that I tried. No, it was last year. It was SummerSlam last year in Detroit.
Yep.
I tried. I was like, I'm out. I'm done. It's over for me. And then they're like, hey, you stuck around longer than you normally would. I was like,
that's all I got.
Yeah, I was like, I can't. It's hard. It is so hard to watch. I mean, I even watched the Rumble. What was it, last year? Yeah. I watched part of the Rumble last year because there was a Bray Wyatt match on that show, and I watched the end of Extreme Rules whenever he came back.
Was it that dreadful Mountain Dew lights out match?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For LA
that
Knight?
Match.
Yeah.
Not a good match.
No, they could have kept that somewhere.
Yeah, that match was not
good.
It was not the greatest. It's like the execution of certain things, it just falls terrible. And I know you're supposed to be the wild. What is it? The wide world leader in sports entertainment.
The worldwide leader in sports entertainment.
It's like, come on. Don't treat your fans terrible. Because they think we have short memories. They'll be like, hey, didn't so-and-so face so-and-so in 2012? Yeah. And they're supposed to win, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. It's just a lot of ridiculous things. But yeah, I wish everybody the best who enjoys the product. Y'all enjoy what you enjoy. I'm be over here watching Stardom, AEW, New Japan, whatever else is out there. And keep enjoying them 3 hours of Raw until next month.
I'm not gonna lie, Brad. A lot of times Raw is background noise. Depending on, if there's a Gunther segment, I'll tune into it. Mm-hmm. If there's an LA Knight segment, I'll tune into it. If there's certain people, if it's entertaining enough, I'm gonna tune into it. But if it's just the hell is he doing out here again?
Yeah.
I mean, just like when they had the Judgment Day just run amok all over WWE, all over Monday Night Raw, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. And then and then you had the Bloodline infiltrate NXT. Okay, this is, I'm pretty sure Marcus will say the same thing, as well as you too. When you give me wash, rinse, and repeat, I'm going to treat it as such. But if you give me something different, I'm more liable to do this instead of this. You see what I'm saying? Because, yeah, like football season, I'm not going to say they need to put out all the whole stops, but y'all been doing this for 30 years. You know that from September to when's the last Monday night game? In January or something like that?
It's in December usually.
Yeah, December-ish.
Yeah, December-ish. Yeah, September, October. For 4 months, you know what you're getting. So 4 months, you have got to make the program worth a damn to watch. Because you got to think about it like this. Right now, football's in season. Baseball is gearing towards the playoffs. Pretty soon, hockey will be in season. Pretty soon, basketball being season. So all the attention and focus will go from, because the best time Monday Night Raw has is after the Super Bowl, right up until 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That's their time. February, March, April, May, June, July, and August. Around late August, their interest starts to wane because, they're doing preseason games, scrimmages, and all that, and then it gets real different. It gets real different. Yeah, no one's, this country loves football.
They do.
So sometimes they don't give a damn if it's the New York Giants and the Carolina Panthers playing the Monday Night Football game. Somebody gonna watch it.
Somebody gonna have a Monday night game this year, nor did we have one last year.
Pardon my French, we ain't got shit this year.
We don't have any primetime games this year. None.
Everything
Thursday night game.
Everything is localized. They couldn't throw us a bone with a Thursday night game. They couldn't give us none of them. I know for sure they were not going to give us a Friday night game. Ain't no way. No, we don't deserve a Friday night game.
I think we do have a Berlin game early Sunday morning, and it's against the Giants.
It is against the Giants, yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna watch that shit.
Hell no. It's gonna be like 9 in the morning. I'm gonna be getting ready to go to church, and most people are gonna be asleep.
Somebody's like, you watching the game? No, I'm here to work camera too. I ain't got time for this mess, man.
I'm going to worship and praise the Lord.
For real.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the Lord my time. That team on Mint Street. Hey, I'm gonna treat the Carolina Panthers like people in Ohio treat Michigan. Ohio calls Michigan that team up north. I'm gonna call that the Carolina Panthers that team down there in Mint Street in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you guys are going through that, just this early in the season.
Yeah, and this is game one. We're supposed to be optimistic, but I'm like, okay, they already showed a picture of Bryce Young throwing an interception, and then when he got knocked to the ground, his bunkie was up in the air and his legs was folded, and I'm just over here. And I'm over here like,
oh no,
this ain't good. This ain't good.
I told myself I'm gonna give him until midway through the season, and if he shows no improvement, then I sell my stock on him. He's a nice kid, but
yeah,
you ain't it in football, bro. If that's the case.
C.J. Stroud was sitting right there. We had a chance to get C.J. Stroud.
Y'all did,
and we also had a chance to get a haul from the Rams for Brian Burns. You know what? If I was the doggone, I'm sorry, this is Constant Pro Wrestling Podcast. If I was the GM, I am pulling the trigger. You mean to tell me I get 2 first rounds for Spider-Man? Go web sling your ass in LA. Make sure you pay your taxes over there because they're gonna get you.
Yep.
but yet still an opportunity to get, I think it was 2 number 1 picks back to back years in a row. Instead of that BS we did with Chicago. Boy.
And we blew it.
We got fleeced by Chicago.
Sure did.
The Rams were legitimately trying to help us out. Yeah. The Rams were legitimately trying to help us out, but Chicago, they fleeced us. They got us. They got us real good. They took our top wide receiver and draft pick 2 years in a row. Number 1.
Like that. It'd be like that. I mean, it said C.J. Stroud is doing his thing down there in Houston. And that's a tough town to have, since the beginning of that franchise, they've had quarterback issues. Since the beginning, it'll be like good spurts, and then you have good spurts. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. We'll see.
What was that dude for a minute?
Yeah.
You went from what? Yeah, you went from, was it David Carr, the Sage Rosenfels.
Oh God, I haven't heard that name in a minute.
Let's see. Yeah, the Sage Rosenfels sound like a whole stripper, but it's a whole dude.
Matt Sharp was in there.
Case Keenum.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't y'all have the Weed Man, Brandon Whedon, for like 3 minutes?
Brandon Whedon, yeah.
And then you turn around a little bit and got Matt Schaub. For some reason, y'all gave Brock Osweiler a bunch of money.
Who? Because he had a decent game or something in Denver, I think.
And he was big. He was big as hell.
Yeah, he's a big old dude, but.
And they gave him a bunch of money. He just there. He straight up shit the bed. And then.
Wasn't Brady Quinn there for a minute?
Probably. And then
Probably.
you had.
Who knows?
And then you had what's his name? Not Davis.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, and he trying to be a nasty man, still doing the same stuff up here. And he got new allegations. I'm gonna tell you what, man. Deshaun Watson done messed up for everybody that want guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm.
He only had one good half of football in about 3 years.
That's terrible. Who else? T.J. Yates.
Yes, yeah.
Oh wow, yes.
T.J. Yates. They went to the playoffs and they beat somebody.
Yeah. I think it was it the Chiefs? Because I know the Texans always had problems with the Chiefs.
Yep.
Always. Yeah. It was always something. Yeah. No, wait. They beat the Bengals that year. That was 2012.
Yeah.
And then they lost to Baltimore in the divisional round.
Yeah, so I'm just over looking around like, man, we had C.J. Stroud. It's like this. We had C.J. Stroud and them 2 number ones for Brian Burns. You whole different story.
Whole different story. But right now, Tampa's number 1 right now in the division right now. We'll see what happens this season. I mean, Mike Evans is balling out of control right now. I love it. I love to see this. Zone.
Yep, I had Chris Godwin on the bench. I don't know why.
No.
I think I won my league, but I think I won my matchup. I had in my dynasty league, I had to go in a whole wide receiver overhaul.
Man.
I had Rondale Moores, Darnell Mooney's, Greg Dortch, which is I'm gonna keep him because he averages 10 a week.
Yeah, up in the league.
Yeah, DJ Chark, who ain't did nothing since he left Jacksonville. Zay Jones. I had a lot of guys that had potential. I'm like, look, these motherfuckers, they got to go. They have got to go. So I pretty much got rid of all of them, and in return, I traded for this one guy. I got Brian Thomas Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Traded for getting Chris Godwin, and I got Sharif in Buffalo. So for my dynasty league, I'm good because the report was like, hey man, your roster sucks, and I was like,
damn.
Yeah. They said it, but they didn't say it, but they said it, if that makes sense.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's rough, man. That's rough. That's so the cookie crumbles sometimes with fantasy football, man. It's one of those things. Damn,
I'm gonna have to cut this segment out, but hey, we talked about football in this episode. All right, and yeah. You know the beautiful thing about it is we went for damn near 2 hours straight, and the best part about it is we didn't have to do no 40-minute interruption, nothing. We were hot, we were cooking. This is another episode of the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I feel like I just had a whole episode of Nightcap. Now I know how Ocho and Unk feel because, like Ocho said, I'm good, but towards that end, I'll be doing this right here. But nevertheless, we want to thank you for listening to the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling Podcast. Pretty soon, we're going to see some videos. Just look at this dope-ass logo. It's just dun.
So cool.
It's just a real dope logo, man. We got a lot coming soon. Remember, she broke something. Hoes be flying and things be happening like that. So, any final thoughts before we go ahead and get the hell up out of here and go home?
Honestly, for just to recap from All Out weekend, please stop saying that it's in Chicago, Illinois. It is in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. A suburb of Chicago. It is an hour from the city. It's an hour. How do I know? I rode the train in town. It is an hour away from the city. But overall, like I said, I've been to too much AEW this year. They They know how to put on a show. They know how to put on a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to put one on, and we have to go to a show at some point. At some point, we got to. We got to. It is a must because I want you guys to see this. I want you guys to enjoy what they bring to the world of professional wrestling, and that's all I got to say.
Matter of fact, Dynamite is supposed to be up here.
Dayton, I think. Right?
No, in Cleveland on the 20th.
Oh.
On the 20th of October.
Ooh.
Well, whatever that. I'm at. When they came up here in 2019, I enjoyed myself. They performed in the Wolstein Center. It was a small crowd, but the energy in the building was good. It had great ass energy. So I get it, man. Which means, Marcus, if you ever get a chance to see some AEW stuff, gotta go, bro. You gotta.
They've come here to Atlanta, or technically Duluth quite a few times. And it seemed like they did it much more frequently when Cody was still on the roster. They haven't been back as frequently, but I've been telling myself I'm going to catch them one of these times and stuff. Just for some reason or another, the timing was never right when they came, but hopefully next time through, because that was going to be my parting thought. I thought tonight's episode of Dynamite was really good. The stuff with Mox and Marina Shafir and Pac and Claudio, I'm hooked. Like starting out with the promo starting the show, and them coming out various times. Mox's confrontation with Darby, him wanting I'm hooked. I'm intrigued. I want more, and I just thought that the flow of the whole episode was just really good. So
it was
more Dynamites like this, because there have been times where Dynamites have been just it's just kind of another pointless match. Like, these matches don't really make sense, and they're very predictable. But I thought tonight's episode was really good, and that tag team gauntlet match to close things out.
Ooh.
It was fun. It was slow in the beginning, but it picked up.
Yes.
I'm glad it picked up, man. Like, everybody was like pushing for Motor City Machine Guns to debut, and I was like, dude, those guys aren't going to show up yet. If they show up.
Not on a random ass Dynamite.
Yeah. No.
Save that for pay-per-view.
Save that for pay-per-view. Please.
And that's the thing, man. When it come to debuts and big moments, I mean, think about it. When Swerve Strickland debuted, it was on a pay-per-view. When Danielson debuted, it was on a pay-per-view. When Ricochet debuted, it was on a pay-per-view. When who else was it?
Moxley
had debuted, yeah. Pay-per-view.
A pay-per-view. So let's keep pay-per-views for that. That's all. All right. With that being said, it's been another episode of the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling Podcast. Like I said before, thanks for watching, rating, viewing, and subscribe. Real soon, hopefully next week, if not the week after, we'll have our own feed. I'll still post to the Sports Bros podcast feed just to try to, kill two birds with one stone. But we'll probably have our own feed pretty soon. We have a Twitter account. We have a Facebook like page. And tell all your wrestling friends, and tell all your wrestling family about the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I showed one of them old gals the logo. She's like, "Oh, this thing damn near took me out." I was like,
I like that. I
was like, kind of like how Shannon Sharp did. Anyways, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They're greatly appreciated now more than ever. Be a blessing, not a burden, and most importantly, be an open-minded wrestling fan. You'll enjoy it more, okay? For Eddie, for Marcus, for Brad, it's been another episode of the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling Podcast. Stay. Don't you dare go away, but bye. We'll see you next week. Y'all take care.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.